Hey, and welcome back to another episode where myself, Richie Bra, and Daniela Del Carpio, we join forces and we present on topics that you guys request, basically. Kind of a bit of a mouthful there, Daniela, but yeah, we are together. We need to create a name, actually, don't we? I think that would
Mm.
be so cool.
Yeah, I think for now we've just been calling pod talks.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like weekly pod talks. That's the name
Mm.
for now. But I mean, we might
Okay.
come up. If you guys have any ideas, let us know.
Yeah.
Any ideas that we use, give it to us.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. Um, okay. So we'll get into today's topic. Okay. Today's topic is all about fasting and quite specifically and quite heavily drawn around intermittent fasting. Now,
Mm.
Daniela and I were actually talking about this earlier this week. We were talking about, you know, clients talking about fasting, people asking for advice talking about fasting, people thinking that fasting is magic. We know that it's gained popularity over the last few years. People are quite intrigued by it. And that's the thing, guys, with lots of fads out there, it's so easy to get lost. It is literally like what is popular at that moment in time. And currently, I know for the last few years for sure, it's like before Daniela, it used to be don't eat carbs after 6 p.m. It used to be no carbs. Carbs after dark are really bad. And I'd say the last few years, it's definitely been all about fasting. And I just want to kind of preface this to say there have actually been some studies done on fasting, so some benefits. But I want you guys to remember this is not magic. And that is what Daniela and I are going to be talking about today. So, Daniela,
Mm.
would you like to open?
Yeah, I think we just want to break it down, like explain it to you guys better what actually fasting is, so you can understand more. I think like maybe you already know, like the basics or like the main idea of fasting, but there's so much that goes behind. There's so many pros, cons, which is exactly what we're going to talk about. And there's also different types of fasting that people try. And that's also something we're going to explain to you guys. Because just like Richie said, like fasting, it's become lately, and we get this question asked all the time. And I know so many people that are doing fasting because they want to lose body fat. They feel like that's a magic pill, or because my friend is doing it and this is working amazing for her. So I want to try fasting as well. But as we always say, like you got to think about your health first, because fasting, it's not for everyone. It's not like a one size fit all approach. It, especially if you don't have a good relationship with food, especially if you're someone that maybe had eating disorders in the past, maybe you just don't have, for whatever reason, a good relationship. It's just gonna make things worse for you. It's gonna make your journey literally a disaster, and we don't want that. So I think let's start by talking about exactly what fasting is and the different types of fasting. So fasting is pretty much when you stop eating for a period of time. So let's say, oh, you only have like a little window to eat. So let's
Mm.
say I can only eat from 2 p.m. until 6 p.m., just a random example. And then so that means from the time you wake up until 2 p.m., you don't eat anything at all. Some people, they're allowed to drink water or coffee. Some people are not allowed to drink anything at all. And then from 2 p.m. until 4 p.m. or 6 p.m., whatever time I say it, that's your little window to eat. So you don't really control what you're eating. You eat whatever you feel like eating. And then after 6 p.m., you're not allowed, once again, allowed to eat again until the next day. So see, that's a very little window. It's a really little window to eat everything. And the reason why people get the results and they lose body fat is because having that very small window, there's only so much you can eat in between those hours. There's no way on earth you are able to eat 2,000 calories or 3,000 calories in just a few hours, because you're going to get so bloated. You're going to feel so full, and you're going to be like, no, I'm done, which means you're going to be eating less calories. So that means you're going to be in a caloric deficit. And remember, caloric deficit, even less calories, that's what helps you to lose body fat. But is there anything else you think we should add to what's actually fasting? Like anything that I'm missing?
Yeah, I think because we mildly discussed this before we jumped on here today. We were talking about the types of fasting. So I think
Yeah.
you sort of mentioned you've got the 5-2, which is literally, you eat for 5 days and you fast for 2, or you have a reduced calorie intake on 2 of those days. There is another one, which is the like intermittent windowed fasting, which is like 12 till 8. And I think that's because we've become a nation of breakfast skippers, which I'm sure you've probably seen as well. Breakfast when I was growing up was seen as the most important meal of the day, right? And now it's so funny because decades later, it's now like everyone just skips breakfast and they just go straight in for coffees. They'll have 6 coffees, but what they don't realize, they're not actually fasting. So although they think they're fasting, they're having their 200 to 300 calorie lattes or cappuccinos, and they're not considering those things. They're just doing it poorly. And I think that's the thing. Daniela and I have actually touched on this in the past, and I am a fan of fasting if done correctly. And if there's no history of, eating disorders, and it doesn't become so rigid that it takes over somebody's life. And also understanding why you would fast. What would be the point? Are you somebody that enjoys larger meals? Do you like big meals? Because I love big meals. If you let me eat 2,000 calories in one sitting, I'd go.
Really?
My goodness, would I be bloated? I would definitely be bloated. And then I'd be moaning about that. But yeah, I just think it needs to be done correctly and mindfully. And you know what? It may well suit people that are so busy that actually, do you know what? Knowing that they've just got to simplify things might be an easy task or an easy thing to do if like work's quite busy. But where you mentioned about the eating disorders as well, I think another really important thing to note is that when people do intermittent fasting, especially if they are someone that's been quite used to eating breakfast and all of a sudden they start skipping it, they might feel really low on energy. They might feel very groggy. They might not be hydrating themselves to just keep themselves going. Another thing is when they are allowed to eat, and when the day comes that they can eat, or the time period comes, they're going to make poor choices, especially if they are really hungry.
Yeah.
You're more
100%.
likely to go and grab a fresh cream donut, aren't you, if you've not eaten for 16 hours?
Yeah, and like the fasting that you just mentioned, the 5-2 fasting, so you eat for 5 days and then you stop eating for 2 days. Just to me, that doesn't make sense at all. Like, why will you do that to yourself? Like, you eat, let's say, Monday to Friday, and then you don't eat anything Saturday and Sunday. It's 2 full-on days with no food. 2 days that you likely feel dehydrated, feel tired, feel grumpy, because that's how we feel. Like whenever we're hungry, what do? We feel grumpy. We yell at people. We don't want to talk to people because you're hungry and you want to eat something ASAP. So just imagine doing that and then not eating for 2 days. To me, it just doesn't make sense. I know that there's so many studies that show and prove that if you don't eat for that period of time, it's going to help you with cell production, regenerate your cells, it's going to help you cleanse your body, it's going to help you with this, it's going to help you with that. But again, to me, it just doesn't make sense at all. I feel like food, it's fuel, food is energy. Like, you need that energy to live your life every single day. You need that energy to perform the little things that you do, just getting up, getting down, brushing your teeth, doing those little movements. Why will you take that away from you? Why will you do that to yourself? And I actually did a post about this on my Instagram yesterday, and I feel like, there's many reasons why people do it. And if you do it because it's part of your religion and it's part of your values, obviously I respect that 100% because it's your religion and we cannot change that. It's what you value. So that's something I respect. Yes. But if you just do it for reasons of, I want to lose body fat, this is what my friend's trying, this is working amazing, and you have the eating disorders or you don't have a good relationship, just don't do that to yourself. It's not healthy at all. And there's another type of fasting, I don't know the name, but it's like you're only allowed to eat fruits and vegetables during the day and only one big meal at nighttime or like later. So you can have, let's say, apple, banana, some carrots, some cucumber, and only one meal that has rice or your carbs, your protein, and your fats.
Mm.
But there's gonna be so much like nutrient deficiency because you're not gonna be hitting your protein target. You're not gonna be eating your fats if all you're eating is veggies and fruits. So you got to think about the nutrients as well because you need those vitamins, you need those minerals. Your body works with everything, not just with the veggies in one thing. It's everything, the whole thing together. So it just, again, I'm gonna keep saying this over and over again, but to me, it just doesn't make sense at all.
Mm.
It just doesn't. I
It
cannot get
becomes
it.
almost
Get it.
like another fad, doesn't it? Like what you just said. I thought that was interesting, where you're only allowed to eat fruits and veggies during the day, and then only one big meal at night. And I think it's so interesting you say that, because being able to hit your protein target in one meal is actually pretty hard.
Mm.
I mean, my word, I'm a vegan, and do you know how many packets of tofu I'm going to have to eat? I mean, I won't say no to that, but because I do love it, but that's just going to feel hideous. Like it's just not going to feel right. There could be issues with your like digestion and just being able to like even getting enough fiber in, and being able to get enough water in. And well, actually you would get a shit ton of fiber from fruits and veggies all day, but I just don't, I just don't think that's ideal. I don't like that. But I'm definitely 5'2". I'm not a fan of. I think that's really hard. 5'2". I know you said like fully fasting. I think I may have mentioned that, but 5'2", I think it's something like 2 days you have between 500 to 800 calories, which again is not realistic. And what people don't realize is that on those days that it might be all well and good and they've got the mental capacity to deal with that and do a 5'2", but what they don't realize is their energy output, it's going to reduce massively. Their NEAT is going to be going down. They're not going to be walking around as much. Body's going to shut down. So it kind of makes it a little bit like pointless, because then on the other 5 days, what kind of thing are you doing? What kind of meals are you having? I mean, are you eating in a huge surplus over those 5 days because you're eating 3,000 calories each day because you're absolutely marved on those 2 days? You're taking, if weight loss or fat loss is your goal, that is just not the way to do it. But when it comes to intermittent windowed fasting, so for example 12 to 8, I feel like for some people that can work. But again, it does depend, right? It depends on someone's working schedule. And you know what? I'm not a massive breakfast skipper. It depends. And I think we talked about this before. If I've had a meal the night before quite late, it depends. Then I might not actually be very hungry in the morning, and it might stretch out a couple of hours. And effectively, I've extended my break fasting, right? So I've gone to sleep, and I've had a period of fasting while I've slept. And then during the morning, because that hunger really hasn't kicked in, or I've not really felt the need to eat, it's not happened. But if I know, for example, I'm off to go to the gym, I need to get some fuel in. And even if for me that means, and this sounds bizarre because you'll just go, well, how much food is that? But if you're someone that doesn't like eating breakfast and you train in the morning, one of my favorite hacks, if you like, for just getting a bit in is 10 grams of oats. It sounds minuscule. 10 grams of oats, loads of berries in there, 10 to 20 grams of protein. Give it a mix, stick it in the microwave, give it a mix, and it's perfect. Like I like doing that. I think it's really good. And that in itself, I know that sounds like hardly anything. I think even still, they make up about 300 calories with that small breakfast. So it works.
Yeah, but I feel like that type of fasting, I don't know if we should call it fasting, but it's obviously you listen to your body. If you're not hungry, don't force yourself to eat something. And that's what I say, like that's fine. Like always listen to your body, listen to your hunger cues. Like if you're someone that wakes up or every single morning you just don't feel hungry, because a few of my clients are like that. They just don't like to have breakfast first thing in the morning. And that's fine. Like you don't have to. And the main point I guess I'm trying to say is just listen to your body. If you're only hungry at around, let's just say 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., then make that your first meal. always listen to your body, make that your first meal, and then your next meal can be around, let's just say 1 p.m., 2 p.m. Whenever you start feeling those, your body tells you when you're hungry. When you start feeling hungry, you have that next meal. I think that like unintentional fasting is fine. But once again, if you're doing it just for the purpose of losing body fat, then that's something completely different. And also, I know some people do fasting because they want to cleanse their body. They want to cleanse their system. They want to cleanse their digestive system. But my question to those people will be like, do you actually mean what cleansing means? Like when you talk about want to clean my body and want to cleanse this and that, do you actually know what you're talking about? Or is it because you just, like those detox, sorry, that's the word, detox. I want to do a detox on my body. People fast because they want to detox their body. Once again, do you actually mean what that means? I mean, do you actually know what that means? Like, how do you actually know how that's going to affect your body? Do you actually know if that's going to do anything to your body or not? Because I feel like people just use that term detox because it's so popular. Everyone says detox. Everyone wants to do a detox, especially after a big weekend that maybe you were drinking too much, you ate a little bit too much. People say like, I want to do a detox. I'm not going to eat anything the whole day or for the next 2 days because I just drank too much and I ate too much. Yeah, it's just, again,
with the
why do that?
detox. Yeah, with the detox thing, I'm definitely with you on that, because I think it's bizarre. The only thing that we should ever really be detoxing ourselves from are negative people and social media and high consumption of, mobile phones and televisions and technology. That sort of stuff you need to detox yourself from. But when it comes to food, like, don't put the bad shit in your body in the first place, right? I mean, we love the 80-20 rule, right? And it's the same thing comes to your diet as well. And look, we're not saying don't eat the jam donut, because believe me, I love a jam donut, but I'm not going to eat jam donuts every single day. I could if I wanted to, but I'm going to have some variation in that because I don't really love them that much. But I wouldn't eat a bag of jam donuts every day. That's not going to really help my 80-20 rule, right? But if I wanted to have something little and often, let's say it's like a chocolate bar, or, look, for some people, Daniela, I mean, you and you don't drink at all, and I don't really drink. Like, it's very rare. I might have a cocktail because it tastes nice, but I'm not really someone that needs to go absolutely wild. And I know that for some people, that's their way of relaxing. They like a glass of wine, but I'm sorry, but having a glass of wine every single night, that's not helping you detox. And by cutting that out, you'll actually create a detox. If you save that glass of wine for a Friday night, or you have it, on occasion, that's not going to do you any harm. But it's thinking about balance overall. There was something that I wanted to say though about the intermittent fasting, and it kind of, you touched on it slightly, but if we forget about the detoxing thing, there is, and I'm sure you've seen this as well, but there is some health benefits that might help people that have insulin sensitivity issues. So I did actually really want to talk about this, because I've always felt like talking about the whole blood sugar thing and the insulin and stuff, it's like trying to break that down and explain it to someone can be really confusing, right? And especially right now, Danielle, I don't know if you know, but I'm not going to name them because I never obviously want us to have to like face this company's name of what they're doing. But if I just go and signal that you stick something on yourself and it measures your blood glucose and stuff, it's become, that's the new thing. It's been very, very popularized, and it's extremely popular here in the UK. And I just think you don't want to walk around with a patch on your arm for the rest of your life. And it's the same with a nicotine patch. Would you wear one of those forever? Like, no, you'd like to think that you don't, right? You'd like to have a point where you don't have to wear one. And so it's the same thing with this. And I think where intermittent fasting has been proven or shown to help with that, insulin sensitivity and the dispersal of like the blood sugar levels, I think the reason why it's seen as being good is that after we have a meal, our blood glucose or our blood sugar levels go up, and that is completely normal. And it doesn't matter if it's actually, why am I showing you my glasses? It doesn't matter if it's a really high spike. I'm trying to show you something here. It doesn't matter if it's a really high spike. What matters is that it actually drops and comes down. That's the issue that people have. And I think I wanted to mention this because obviously, like, again, when you like talk about this stuff and you think of ways of making it sound easier for people, when we have that increase and then we have that spike, where people go wrong is they continuously eat and they continuously spike, snacking, for example, and they never actually have a period of time without food. That, I think, why intermittent fasting seems to have such great benefits and why it seems to be working is because people have a period of time when they stop eating. Right? I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. Just before I forget, quickly talking about detox. I think like if you tell yourself that you need to do a detox, maybe you need to change the approach or the way that you're doing things like with your nutrition. Because obviously if you need that detox, it's because you already know that you're not eating, the best, or you're not feeling your body properly. You already know that maybe you're drinking too much during the week or on the weekend. So if that's you and you feel like you need to do a detox every single week, once a month, try to change that mindset and try to think about, okay, how can I change what I'm eating, my meals, to make sure that I'm filling my body with the right nutrients, to make sure that I don't do that detox again, or I don't feel like I need to do that detox again. And how can I reduce my alcohol intake on the weekends or during the week once again, so I don't feel like I need to do that detox every single week. I just want to remove that word detox so bad, because I feel like people use it and they overuse it, and it's like, do you actually know what it means? Do you actually know what it does to your body? Do you actually know if you need it or you don't? Like, our bodies are so smart. Like the human body, it's just amazing. The way that everything works, it's amazing. Like there's no need for you to put pills in your body to help you cleanse your liver, to help you cleanse your, I don't know, there's so many pills for everything. Like you don't need those things. You really don't. It's just marketing, waste of money. It's just all you need is just good nutrition, just the basics and nothing else. Because if you really think about it, like people that used to live in the old era, like a long time ago, there was no supplements back then. There was no detox pills back then. There was literally nothing. All there was, it was just food, veggies, fruits, meats, carbs, rice, pasta, all the grains, nothing else. And people were having an amazing life. We don't know exactly how, but they were eating those things. Like there was no need for there was no need for them to add anything extra or to remove anything. Just having something healthy, those basic nutrients. Just keep it simple, and that's all you need. You don't need anything detox, please. Let's remove that. No more detox. Detox is not allowed here anymore. Let's not talk about
Detox
that.
from the detox.
Yeah, detox from
detox.
The only detox is just social media and negative people. That's it.
That's it. Exactly that. Yeah, and another thing, they used to exercise, right?
Exactly. They used to
exercise.
walk more.
They used to move all the time. It wouldn't necessarily be in the gym, but they would be lifting.
And they will be walking more because there was not really cars. There was obviously horses or like different animals. But yeah, there will be more movement, daily activity every single day. There were no computers, no cell phones, so people were not stuck in the desk, just working, or scrolling on their phones. Yeah, it's going back to the basics, going back to the simple things, like the little simple things that you do on a daily basis. That's what's going to help you be healthy and be better. But going back to your question of the insulin sensitivity, yeah, I think the problem is that people are just eating too much. And it's mainly like mindless eating, in between or at work. Especially, I feel like it happens so much at work because food is so accessible, not everywhere, but most jobs, I feel like there's always snacks on the table. Like my sister, for example, she always tells me, she's the one who does the shopping for the company every single week. And there's like, her company is so nice. They honestly have a fridge full of food. You can get anything from there. So it's so accessible. You have crackers, you have cheese, you have lollies, you have chips, You literally have everything, so you don't need to take your lunch. But the problem with that is that people are always like, oh, I'm hungry, let me go to the fridge and get something. Oh, I'm hungry, let me go to the fridge and get some Coke, or get some, there's even alcohol, like get some alcohol, whatever. Whenever there's food available and it's so accessible and it's free, obviously people are gonna get it because it's free and it's there. Why would you waste that opportunity? But that only means that you're gonna be eating more throughout the day. Even if you're not hungry, you're just gonna eat it because one, it's accessible. Two, your environment, maybe your colleague is eating and you just want to be sociable and you want to eat with them. And it's just, yeah, it's just gonna be like up and down. Like your insulin levels are gonna be like those spikes because you're gonna have something that is highly refined, high in sugar, highly processed food. And it's, yeah, it's not gonna really help you with too many things. And that's why your cravings get higher. That's why your cravings get more every single day, more and more and more. And then you struggle, you wonder why I'm not losing weight. Why do I keep gaining weight? Why is my body composition not changing? I'm training so much, but nothing's changing. It's because you're not changing the way you're eating. It's because you keep snacking. You keep going to the fridge and getting those snacks or getting those drinks. So yeah, I think for that reason, fasting can be a good thing. But again, it's how you do it.
Yes.
And it's also if it's beneficial for you or not. I think another pro of fasting, maybe the only one that I can think about, it will be according to your lifestyle. Like if you're someone who is really busy and you literally can only eat 3 times a day, for example, and your first meal can only be around 1 p.m. for whatever reason, second meal around 4 p.m., last meal 8 p.m. So you're pretty much fasting in between the time that you wake up until 1 p.m. If that's the case for you and that works for you and you're fine with that, I think that's fine because you're not doing it for other reasons. You're doing it just because it's your lifestyle and it's the only thing that you can make. It's the only way you can make it work. I think that's very beneficial because you're doing something to making it work and it's just part of you, part of your lifestyle. But I don't know, I feel like there's not many other pros with fasting, but what do you think? What's something else you think is beneficial about fasting?
I think, if I'm honest, I think then it might even become a thing where it's not even called fasting any longer because you're just falling into a normal eating pattern.
Yeah.
So it might be something that someone does short term just to try, see if it works for them. Again, especially when it comes to, again, it's not like things like being too rigid or having too many rules. Again, again, it's coming back to the cons. Like a lot of it really depends on your schedule, your lifestyle. And, if you are going to intermittent fast, I think it needs to be managed correctly. You need help with it. You need to be coached. And it's the same thing that I say again and again about meal plans, that you need to be coached into a meal plan and out of a meal plan. Like, and during, of course. It's not as simple as you being told, eat this, see you later, goodbye. It's about having the support and the ability to change things, to create a different approach, to use this sort of, flexible approach to how you do things. But again, coming back to the magic of intermittent fasting, where people think it's just like godsend and that's what makes you lose weight. Again and again, they are failing to realize that energy intake versus expenditure is what creates the benefits, right? Calories in, calories out. And I know people hate hearing that, but it's the truth. It's like addition, subtraction equals X. There's always going to be things or reasons where it's not going to work from you. And if you are not a calorie tracker, looking at portion control, that's also a way of thinking overall how your intake versus your expenditure is going. So yeah, I mean, it could be, if it works for you, it works for you, but it's not magic.
Mm-hmm. I think as you can see, you guys, like we don't really see many pros for intermittent fasting, but I think I see so many cons with intermittent fasting. And I think one of them, it's that you develop a very unhealthy relationship with food. because you're seeing food as something that if I eat, it's gonna make me put on body, it's gonna make me gain too much weight. You're not really seeing food as something to fuel your body, to help you do your daily activities, to help you feel good. You're seeing food more like, this is good, this is bad, I want to gain weight, I don't want to eat this, I don't want to eat that. And I think that's why it can become very unhealthy, because you just develop this, you develop this unhealthy relationship with food, because you're seeing food as the enemy. You're seeing food as the evil, as something that is not going to help me reach my goals. So I think that's one of the main reasons why I just don't like fasting at all. And also because when you are fasting for that window, let's say between the time you wake up until 2 p.m., you're going to be so hungry, which means you're going to be grumpy, which means this can also affect your relationships. Because if you're grumpy and tired and very irritable all day, people are not going to want to come and talk to you, because I don't like dealing with people that are grumpy all the time. That's not, you don't want to be too, I don't know about you, but I just don't like talking to those people. You're like, oh my gosh, this girl's always grumpy. Like, stay away from me because you're just too negative. You're too grumpy. And that can affect your relationship. And then you eat, you're going to be happy. And then once again, go back to being hungry and grumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's the key thing, really, is that everything we've kind of touched on is it has to suit your schedule and your lifestyle. It's not a magic thing to have because it's popular right now. It doesn't mean it's going to work. And I think also another key point is the constant drip feed of food, like constant. There needs to be a point where you actually bring everything down. So again, when we're thinking about, if you're constantly eating, you're just making your digestive system work constantly. Are you going to be able to look you have your body and your energy looking after anything else? Are you going to be able to manage your sort of, your brain function and your memory and all the sort of cognitive stuff? Like, are you just going to be, because we all know what we feel like after we eat, right? You feel a bit sluggish. Your body has to kind of take the energy there to help with the digestion. So I think the key thing is not to say intermittent fasting, but have your meals, whether you have 2 meals a day, you have 3 meals, 4 meals, or even 6 meals or 5, we won't discriminate. However many meals you have, there needs to be a period where there's nothing. There has to be. You've got to maintain that balance. And again, when it comes to eating and being mindful about eating, food is something to respect and enjoy. And you should really think about chewing your food, eating your food without distractions, being present in the moment with the food that you've got on your plate. And so many people, they eat and they do this. They eat and they just do this. Sorry, you can't see my phone, but they're just constantly, or it's the TV in front of. Focus on one task at a time. Have some respect for the thing that you're doing. It wouldn't be great if I came on and Daniela came on. We had this great collaboration that we're doing, and we just sat here eating, looking at each other, listening, eating, talking. It's just rude. So
yeah, I wouldn't like that at all.
No, exactly. It's like, finish your food, let it be done, and done,
Yeah, but I think like nowadays we're so attached to our phones or like laptop or iPad or TV that it's so hard, like so freaking hard to put your phone down or your TV, or not your TV down, but turn off your TV and then just focus on eating. People want to be watching something while they eat because they enjoy that, and I was guilty of that. I'm not going to say I didn't do that, because I was very guilty of that. Always put the TV on or put something on my laptop or my phone and then eat. But then you realize like you're not really paying attention to the food. You're just like, if you're just chewing the food just to chew, but you're paying attention to whatever you're watching and you're not really enjoying your food. You're not really chewing your food, which means after that, you're gonna be like, oh, I'm still hungry, I'm not really full. And then you're gonna go and grab something else. And then you're gonna be eating, which means excess calories. You're gonna be overeating. And then if you're trying to lose body fat, that's not gonna help you. And something else we didn't mention earlier about fasting. Let's just say you're someone who's fasting right now. From the time you wake up until 2 p.m. And let's just say the only time that you can go to the gym, it's early morning. So that means that you're not going to eat anything before training, which is fine. You know, I do that. But then you're also not going to eat anything after your training. So your first meal is going to be at 2 p.m. You're going to be at least, I don't know, 5-6 hours without any food after your training. So that's not going to help you with your recovery. Your body's not going to be able to recover fully, because remember, food, that fuel we needed after the workout to help you get that energy back, to help you with that recovery. And if you are not doing that, you're simply going to feel very fatigued. Your body won't be able to recover. If you're trying to build muscle mass with body fat, that's not going to happen, or it's going to take longer because there's no recovery, there's nothing happening. So you got to think about that as well, because you don't want to be adjusting your training times just because you're only eating from 2 p.m. to until 4 p.m. and then you have to rush everything. Okay, only between those hours I can eat, I need to go to the gym, I need to do this, blah, 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 blah. I can only socialize. It can also affect your social life so much. Just like any diet, any strict diet, it can really truly affect your social life. Because how are you going to tell someone, no, I'm fasting, and every single time they invite you, no, sorry, I'm fasting, I'll just have water, I'll watch you eat. You eat your food, so I'll just have my water. Yeah, it can really affect you in so many ways. So if you're going to do fasting for those reasons, again, think about it. If it's your religion, if it's your values, we respect that. But if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, think about it properly. It's just not
on the religion aspect, because there are, you know, few times a year where people do fast, and it might be they say fast during the day, or it could be fasting from types of food or whatever, and again, religious benefits from that, or, you know, whatever it teaches someone. Again, even with that, I think one of the really interesting things about that, it actually teaches them, or ideally it should teach them, to really value the food that they have and respect it. So again, it's the same thing, like fasting away from the TV while you eat. In some ways, fasting away from food, not having those distractions throughout as you go through the day. It's understanding what it's like for other people that aren't in the place that you are, where we are full. Our lives are full with an abundance of food. We have so much around us, and yet there are people out there who are starving. So just, you know, gosh, I sound like my parents when they say, finish your food, people are starving. But it literally does feel like that, like respect your food. But I remember growing up, Daniela, gosh, the telly was on all the time. I grew up in the 80s. We were brought up by the telly, like everything. We went through the whole Sunny D situation where kids were turning orange. Like, I don't know. There were all sorts of hyperactivity from these crazy cereals. We've been through it all. But yeah, telly was, you know, you'd sit and you'd watch. That's just how it went. And actually it's interesting, but I've been in my current home now for about 2 years, and just prior to this, and I'll say this, I lived at my parents' home for a few years, and they always had the telly on. And that's one thing I said to myself, when I move, I do not want a TV in the kitchen. Don't want one. Sounds crazy. My partner is still like, we should get a telly in the kitchen. I'm like, I don't want a TV. Don't want. And I've always had a rule as well. And again, I think maybe when I was younger, like, because, you know, when you kind of come out of your teenage years and you think, oh my God, I want a TV in my bedroom. I did that. And then actually, as I got older, I realized, why do I want to do this? And I think it's when you're a teenager, you don't want to like socialize with everyone else in your family. You just want to kind of like stay hidden. And so you just watch your own telly before you go to sleep. But it's really bad for you to do that before you go to sleep, to fall asleep to the telly. And like, you know, even here in my home, we don't have a TV in the bedroom. Don't want it.
Yeah, same with me. Yeah, we don't
like
have
we're
TV
out with TVs. People don't watch TVs anymore, right?
Yeah, I don't really. I think people do. Yeah, Netflix.
I don't watch
think
TV.
I watch maybe every now and then, like if you want to do like a movie night with my boyfriend, like
Yeah.
but
it
I don't
feels
know.
special, right? When you
Especially,
do
yeah,
it,
it's not
it
like an
feels
everyday
good.
thing. Yeah, it's not like an everyday thing. It's just like, oh, okay, maybe tonight we have the time, let's watch a movie. But that reminded me when you were talking about growing up, you were watching TV. Growing up, I grew up with my grandparents, and my granddad, when he was alive, he used to be so strict with food in terms of like he would not allow us to watch TV. No magazines in the table, nothing. If it was lunchtime or dinner time, it was just time to eat. Nothing else. It was fine, obviously talking to each other, but he was like, if the TV was on, he's like, turn it off. If I will put a magazine on the table, put that somewhere else, we're eating right now, you know, when it's not time to read, you can read later. And he was always like that. And I think that kind of helped me when I was that young. But then when we moved to New Zealand, that changed. I started watching TV, blah, blah. But yeah, he was so respectful with the meal times. If it was time to eat, it's just meal time, nothing else. And I used to love that about him. Like, he was so strict, but I loved him. But he was just so strict, like such a strict grandfather. So much fun though, but very, very strict with those things. But I think, yeah, that was something that if you're listening to this, if you right now are watching TV or watching something while eating, just try, you know, put your phone down, turn the TV off, and just try to focus on what you're eating. You'll see what a difference that makes, you know, really enjoying that food, tasting those flavors, that texture of whatever you're eating, the rice, the chicken, the steak, the pasta. Really take your time and like taste those things. It will make a huge difference, a huge difference. Even though it might sound silly, if you don't try, you'll never know. So just give it a try. And I think let us know how it goes.
And it will make you feel fuller. Because if you
Mhm.
concentrate on your food and you actually chew your food, you will release, you know, salivatory enzymes or whatever, just, you know, all those juices. Your body has those digestive enzymes. They already start breaking things down, and you start to chew. You probably find that you digest things better. You're not going to be so bloated and the rest of it, but also you're going to feel fuller, because chewing your food, again, that I think is more magic than detoxing or intermittent fasting when it comes to actually, if you can chew your food, you will feel fuller. And I don't know if I've mentioned this to you, Daniela, but I did it in lockdown. I sat down and I went, right, do you know what? I don't know if somebody told me or if I read this somewhere or if it's true, but apparently every bite you need to chew 32 times. Have you heard that?
Yeah, I used to do it like a long time ago. I would sit down
My
literally like
word. I did it and I was sat there half an hour and I was like, whoa, this meal is so filling. So I'm not saying do that, because you just literally spend you probably will have to intermittent fast and just eat one meal a day.
yeah.
I have big meals actually, Daniela, in the evenings. Have I told you that before? I like a bigger meal.
I think you told me earlier just now you like big meals.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had dinner before doing the podcast and you told me you like big meals.
I
I think
do.
it's just finding what works for you. If you're
Yeah.
someone who likes big meals, have your big meals. Like if it's only 3 meals a day, it's fine. I feel like there's absolutely nothing wrong with having only 3 meals a day, or maybe some people even have only 2 meals a day.
Yeah.
Again, if it works for you, as long as it truly works for you, make it work for you and for your lifestyle.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't work for you, just find something, you know, play around, try one day 3 meals, the other day 3 meals, one snack or two snacks, and just find that little big spot that works for you. And maybe it's always going to be changing. It might not always be the same, depending on your job, if you get a new job, if you change houses, if you move to a new country, different things. So it's just finding the way around and always making it work in your favor, not against you. Just make it work in your favor. But that's pretty much everything that we've covered. Yeah. That's pretty much everything that we had to mention about fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to know, guys, your opinion, and let us know if you have tried fasting before, or if it's something that you have considered doing to help you lose body fat. I think that will be interesting for us to know and hear more about you guys and your experience with fasting. And yeah, this whole topic that we literally just discussed. Like, it's been 1 hour talking about this. So yeah, let us know. Message us on Instagram, TikTok, whatever platform you use to listen to us. We want to hear from you.